My name is Elise Gibbs, and this is Scientific Thinking for 3rd grade, Lesson 1. One important piece of the unit is using this poster. It carries through the entire unit. It helps students question, test, and hypothesize. Sorry, I can't get it to open. If, and, then, because, therefore. So drawing conclusions, which is all about scientific thinking. Another important piece of this unit is Scientific Thinking Student Handbook. Inside there's a place to collect words, make observations, chart, and graph. Okay, for Lesson 1, you're investigating magnets. And an important piece of the investigating magnets is to allow students to explore. Each student gets 2 magnets. They will play with them whether you give them time or not, so give them some time to play. They are marked with north and south poles, which will come in the lesson, so they will start to observe that a north and a south need to connect, or a negative and a positive. The first part of the lesson is introducing the concept of force. This poster helps you gather information. It's important to focus on indirect versus direct force. And in this lesson, you're going to focus on magnets as an indirect force. Okay, so the first thing you need to do with students is make sure that they understand that they cannot use magnets near tablets, computers, electronic devices. They can severely damage in your classroom. The kit includes posters to put up around the room to make sure that there's no magnet zones, so that students are aware of that. Many computers have died because of these magnets. The next lesson they are working on is do all metals attract? Let me see, where'd my metal bag go? Okay, so the next lesson they're working on is do all metals attract? One of the observations students usually make is that metal is attracted to magnets. So the first experiment they do with their magnets is to test the magnets with the metals in these magnet bags. And they quickly find out that not only a few items in the bag will stick to the magnet. So then their next job is to discuss what metals actually attract and what don't, and why. It really wants to stick there. There we go. So the important part of this lesson is the finding properties of metals. The next part of the lesson is to talk about how the magnetism in a magnet extends through objects that are metal. So if you put one piece of metal on, then now that piece of metal has become magnetic as well. And you should be able to continue to hook. Even though they're not directly touching the magnet, they are transferring that force. Okay, the next part of the lesson is iron fillings. Using iron fillings to show the poles of the magnets. Your magnets have north and south poles. It is really important for this part of the lesson to put the magnets inside little baggies, because once the iron fillings are out, they will not come off of the magnet. You can't wash them off, you can't peel them off, they won't come off. So the baggie protects the magnet. For this experiment, you put the magnet underneath a piece of cardstock, like that, and then you sprinkle your iron fillings on top, which I'm not going to actually do, but you sprinkle the iron fillings on top, and they will line up with the poles, and students can see how the poles connect around the outside and create a circle around the magnet. And then the last part of the lesson is using total cereal, which with students, which talks about having 100% of your daily iron nutrients. And so students crush it all up, use the magnet inside a baggie to stir it until the iron gathers around the magnet, and they can see the actual iron that they eat in cereal.